And so within this beautiful forest, there is a grove of American redwoods. And in particular, just off from the grove, is a huge American redwood.
Oh, is it the one on the crossroads?
That's it, yes, yeah.
The amount of times I've walked past it.
It's massive, and I've wanted to photograph it for years, never seen the picture, never had the right or reason for making the photograph.
Yeah.
And then when you said you wanted to do this program, I came out yesterday for a bit of a recce, and I had a look, and I thought, well, that's what we're going to do.
I recognise that sound, Neil. That sounds like the scrunching of snow. It does, doesn't it? And you'd be right. I'm in Austria doing the introduction for the following show with Giles Penfound, my good friend Giles. He's my guest today as we go on a walk close to both our homes, Penwood in Berkshire, England land, to make a show called Just One Shot across 2 weeks. Gives me the perfect opportunity to sound like Columbo, just one shot. Actually, I'm not sure shot should have been the word I used, because I'm not sure it feels appropriate, or indeed important enough. Shot seems a throwaway word when it comes to the process involved in the photograph that Giles is about to make, across 2 episodes, no less. Perhaps it should be just one plate, just one exposure. I wish I could do Columbo properly. Anyway, this is not in any way today a rushed process to make a picture. And that's the reason why this particular show is across 2 weeks, actually, to underline the beautiful glacial reality, glacial being an appropriate word, it's blooming cold, to underline that beautiful glacial reality of making a large format camera picture. You'll hear Giles say a couple of times today that all light is good light. And that very, very nearly became the title for the show, because I was surprised that with the process you're about to hear described, any old light might do. Mainly because the absolute creative effort involved in making a large format film picture is unlike nearly anything else I've witnessed, along with wet collodion printing, which is a whole other show, which we'll do another time. Actually, this summer, at the Scottish retreat, when we do the photogravure printing process across 2 days, I think we should have another special just about that process as well. Although it's not quite so glacial. But today's show then is about making a picture for a very important person, as it goes. But then it's also about a conversation we have about choosing a subject, along with other directions I really didn't expect our chat to go, which will make sense when you hear it. Over the next 2 weeks, there's a degree of silliness, there is seriousness, and there's a lot of honesty, actually. Honesty between 2 friends, because I've known Giles as a friend, as much photographer, for over 2 decades now. He's one of my closest confidants in all sorts of things, including the art of making pictures. And there are certainly moments you'll hear this week and next where, to me at any rate, it feels like we've drawn a line and started afresh with how Giles is in terms of his mental health, where he is now and how he's been feeling. And if you're new to these parts, I will just say that for many years, Giles was a documentary photographer who spent time with the British Army photographing some extraordinary scenes, which I'm sure would have been very hard to handle, which I'm going to make respectful but fleeting mention of, because I think you need it for context. That said, we're about to start our less snowy walk, so I need to thank a couple of people before I start. A proper thank you to all the members of our Extra Mile community who, through your kind membership of the Patreon, for as little as a fancy cup of coffee per month, keep this show on the airways. So if you can possibly stand one less determinedly dishevelled latte in a month, you can help us instead. We do have a sponsor, of course. It's very much a joint effort, so thank you for your support. Arthelper.ai, who support this show, if you've got photographs sitting on a hard drive and you've wondered about actually selling them but don't know how to start, the marketing, the mock-ups, the emails, well, arthelper.ai handle all that stuff for you. Use code PHOTOWALK at arthelper.ai and you will get 30 days free. So I just want to make a quick picture actually before we start today's show because I think you should see this incredibly beautiful scene in front of me. I'm looking down onto, into a valley which is where Schlabming is, which is in Austria. Across the mountain you can see the slopes that people are shooshing down. Then there's another big mountain in the background. I don't know what that one's called. I'll make a photograph of it. Hold on. A sketchbooker. There we go. Look at this place. Anyway, we're ready to start our photo walk. Checklist out. Coffee, check. Cadbury's cream eggs, check. That'll make more sense in a moment. Walking boots, check. Ones that don't fill up with water, preferably. Again, that'll make more sense in a moment. Some spare film or an extra SD card, check. And patience, yes. Patience, that's the word for today. Check. Well, let's walk.
Today on the Photo Walk.
All light is fair light. I passionately believe that there is no such thing as bad light. It is all good. And so that combined with everything that you put in your frame, you print everything, including the rebates. I'm not a documentary photographer anymore. I'm not interested in this idea of truth. What I'm interested in is the idea of expression. It's beautiful, it's interesting, it's majestic, and all these other things. How do I want to capture that? How do I want to photograph that? And until there's no point in me just setting up the tripod and I'll set up the camera, take the picture, and then buggering off, because that may not be the right picture. Here, and goes back to that idea of looking at the Rothko. Yeah. Okay, really looking at the work art. This is a work of art, this tree. For me, it enables me to see the landscape better, to be quiet, to be gentle, to quieten down this madness that goes in my head, and to look at the most ordinary of objects. It's just a piece of wood. That's all it is. It's a bit of wood. But actually it's not. It's the relationship between, and that's why I've always said emotion is so important. It's the relationships between all these things. If photography is about anything, it's about time. We are operating and making time machines. And surely if we don't have the grace and the decency and the humility to give it time, to give the scene time, what's the point?
We often talk on the show about photography being a catharsis, a way to escape your problems of the world, to take a deep breath and start over. And it's Saturday morning. I've gone walking I am walking with Giles. And we've needed to escape the kitchen, that's for sure. Because Mr. O'Reilly, for those that remember Mr. that was the comedy character on what was it with John Cleese?
That's right.
What was the show? Fawlty Towers.
That's right. Yes.
God dear. Well, you were having a bit of a moment this morning. Mr. O'Reilly's been round and not fixed the U-bend underneath the kitchen counter.
Absolutely not. I was calm as anything, and I was just very relaxed and just decided to break into my Celtish Anglo-Saxon.
So I thought you were going to rip the unit out for a second. I was all ready to record it on film. Anyway, Penwood. You love Penwood. Penwood in Berkshire. That's where we are. It's a lot of beautiful woodland here. You can just about hear the mumble of the A34 bypass in the background, but not too badly. Real difference of trees here. There's plantation stuff, and then there's quite mature trees here and there as well. You love this place, don't you?
I do. I've been coming here for years. I used to walk my dog Henry here, and I sort of do walks around here. So sometimes when I can pluck up the courage to do some fitness, but it's lovely because it's one of those places that it's not huge, but there's lots of kind of tracks going all over the place, so you can make really nice little detours, and depending how you feel, you can do a short walk or a long walk. And if you listen carefully, sometimes you hear the birds, and it's nice.
Yeah.
you do get lots of walkers around here, but again, it's not massively busy, which suits me down to the ground here, I say.
Yeah, I should come here more often because it's a Saturday morning and there's nobody here.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? No, it's really nice.
Absolutely lovely.
It's I don't know the history of it. I think it's owned by the Forestry Commission, but I think it's a very old wood. So I think this sort of extends to a kind of other place near Wootton Hill, and so I think there's sort of combinations of woods because there's lots of varying trees here. I mean, for some reason, the only trees I know are pines or silver birches.
There's plenty of those.
But I know I once met a chap here, thought it was quite an ancient wood because it's quite diverse in some of its trees.
Right.
But as we can see on our left, this is all sort of managed plantation, which is very dark and dismal. Yeah. But no, it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's
there's a little rumour that Henry, of course, we lost last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Poor Henry, dear Henry. But Henry II is around the corner. Yes. But he's not called Henry or Henry II. He's going to be called. I think you've named him after a famous photographer.
It's called Bert.
Yeah, Bert Hardy.
That's right.
I don't think that is the reason, though, is it?
No. It's just. I don't know. Bert's just sounded a good reason. I was going to get him sort of, in fact, in the next few weeks, but because of sort of other circumstances, we have to put that on the back burner a bit. But hopefully in the summer, we'll have a little Bert walking with me. Although I'm going to have to train him. So when I'm out photographing, I'm going to have to train him to lay down and sit still, because when Henry was a pup and I walked him up here, I set up my 5'4", and it was hilarious because I was there sort of being very serious about getting a photograph and taking hours to set up, and he was just going mental around me. So he almost created a moat around me with all his scratching and all this. So in the end, I just looked at him and went, just bless his heart, we have to go.
Right.
But that's down the road a bit.
No thought about adding. All dogs usually have a E on the end, Barney, and all that. But Bertie, or is that too posh? Bertie.
No,
it does sound a bit posh, doesn't it?
I wanted a dog.
That's a proper dog. Don't you dare say it.
No. I wanted a dog. I'm probably going to get a chocolate brown lab because allegedly they're
bonkers.
They're not the sharpest tool in the box.
No, I've had one.
And I'm looking forward to something that I can intellectually look up to, and Bert sounds a good solid name. So
we had 2 labs in what is affectionately known as the practice marriage, which before you start getting all offended by that, those who are easily offended, my ex-wife calls the same. It was the perfection test, or whatever she calls it these days. But we had 2 labs. We had a yellow one called, oddly enough, Sam, the name of my current wife. My current. Till she gets fed up. And we had Ollie, so Sam and Ollie. And Sam was the yellow, Ollie was the brown lab. Ollie was absolutely bonkers. Yeah. And he honestly, when we went on walks, Sam would just obediently walk on alongside us. Actually, he came from the Andrex toilet roll puppy litter. It's a true story, that. And then we had Ollie, the brown one. But Ollie would, the chocolate lab, he would probably, I think he'd do 4, 5, 6 times the distance, because he would circle us as we walked. Yeah. So the yellow would walk in a straight line, the brown one would go in circles. They are lovely, though.
That would suit me perfectly, because that's my mental state, going around,
being orbited,
going around in circles constantly.
Well, it's I think that's a lot of fun about to descend upon your house. I tell you what, you're worrying about you bent. You know what this is like. You're a Labrador owner. You wait till it starts chewing the skirting boards.
Or one of my cameras.
They really have done some work.
They keep on doing it.
So the show today is that we're making a single image. It's a 5-4 adventure, this. We're going to come on to 5-4, why you've changed, what you're doing, what the camera is, what you plan to do with it. All that stuff we'll come on to. But initially, I want to talk about why we're making the picture you're about to make. It's a single frame, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a single frame.
Yeah, just one picture.
Just one picture. And we're making it of a particular... in a particular area of the woodland, of the forest where we are. And it's very much in tribute to Dennis Lee, the late Dennis Lee, who died at the start of the year. And I've done a reflection about Dennis on the Reflections channel. We both know him. I didn't realise that there's a particular thing about a phrase you used that was really inspired by Dennis.
Yeah, it's really interesting because yesterday, in fact, I was listening to your Reflections, and it was interesting because when I saw the title, I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I hope there's nothing wrong or whatever. And then
It was
I
called
heard
The Captain, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then heard that very sadly that he died, and it's really interesting because I've got to be very honest here. To call him a friend would be kind of stretching credulity somewhat. But I knew him, and for a very short, brief time, we kind of communicated with each other. Actually, thanks to you and through your show. I can't remember why we started talking, but we wrote to each other and exchanged emails.
Probably
and I think
film, because he was very much a passionate film photographer, as you are.
Yeah, no, very much so. And he, I think we just got on because of the stuff that we had a shared past in a way, and we exchanged a few prints and all this, which is lovely. And so this idea of just a gentle, kind person, which I sort of thought he was. Anyway, the point was the it must have been 2 years ago. So I was trying to come up with a phrase that I could use as an end line, and. So all my career, I've always shot full frame, and been sort of quite manic about printing and shooting full frame. And so I'd sign off, wishing you full frames. And Dennis said, well, he goes, no, it needs a bit more. And he just perfectly said, how about adding fair light?
No idea.
Yeah, and so it was lovely. So thanks to Dennis, it became fair light and full frames.
That's amazing.
And look, again...
Because that's what our families say, by the way, when they sign off for you sometimes. I say, I've just spoken with Giles, and they go, fair light, full frames.
Oh, I love that.
See, it's caught on.
No, I love that. And
Oh, look at this light, by the way. The sunshine that's just illuminating part of the forest. Oh, sorry.
No, it's glorious. I think that's what's lovely about...
Oh, can I just get a picture?
You can.
Hold that thought. Dennis won't mind. Hold on. No, you're looking at me with, well, what? You would set up a shot for hours. I just picked up my...
Just take it.
I just picked up my X100V and doing a little sketchbook picture. 450th shutter speed, f4, 160 ISO. There we go, Giles. Done. Let's go home.
It's all done. Why do I have to worry about that?
Your setup's a little bit longer. Oh, look, lab. Hello.
Ooh, hello, Paps. How are you?
Hello. Oh, he reminds me so much of Henry.
He's lovely. Oh, isn't he lovely? Yeah. Oh, he looks like him as well.
Does look like Henry, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'll get all...
Anyway,
I'll go all melancholy.
So, full light, fair frames.
Yeah,
and that's thanks to Dennis, which I did not know. Yeah. I learned this in the last hour.
No, and it's lovely. It's a lovely thing. Yeah, this kind of small friendships that one forms. I find it difficult to sort of verbalise it really, but because I don't want to make too much out of it. I don't want to hijack somebody else's life or somebody else's a family's grief, because it's not about that. But in a way, it's just marking a, I don't know, thank you, and again, without wanting to sort of go completely overboard. As I said to you in an email I sort of said to you yesterday, is sometimes these little things can can have more of an effect on you and a profound effect on one when you hear somebody dying. And what does one do with that? I think I said profundity. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
And as you know, I'm happy to admit my foibles and my sort of changing and chopping and changing is desperately trying to find meaning in what I do in terms of my life. And perhaps the direction comes from those sort of, I don't know, unthought of places. And I think, in a way, Dennis is perhaps providing that, reminding me about Fairlight and Full Frames again. Yeah. Because that is essentially exactly what I do now. That's my goal, my methodology, my desire. It's about, because I've always had this idea that all light is fair light. I passionately believe that there is no such thing as bad light. It is all good. And so that, combined with everything that you put in your frame, you print everything, including the rebates, is a physical thing, is an artistic approach, but is, without wanting to get too hokey about it, is sort of a metaphor, really, for me now, about what I want to do, how I want to do it. And so the reason why we're here today is just a little, I suppose, a tip your hat to Dennis. Yeah. And so within this beautiful forest, there is a grove of American redwoods. And in particular, just off from the grove, is a huge American redwood.
Oh, is it the one on the crossroads?
That's it, yes, yeah.
Oh, the amount of times I've walked past it.
It's massive, and I've wanted to photograph it for years. Never seen the picture, never had the rights or reason for making the photograph. Yeah. And then when you said you wanted to do this program, I came out yesterday for a bit of a recce. Yeah. And I had a look and I thought, well, that's what we're going to do.
That's absolutely perfect. What a lovely tribute, really. So it's just up here, is it?
It is, yeah, just on the
just
past the bend.
All right, okay. Our friend Mally would love it up here. I take him to Savernake and he's in seventh heaven. Yeah. No, whenever I take him there, he's, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. He's running off like, do you remember David Bellamy? He reminds me, I'll put a link on the show page, where David Bellamy was he a botanist?
Yes, yeah.
He was. And he would, the famous David Bellamy, there were sketches that Lenny Henry, the comedian, used to make, and he'd always be looking through the trees, and he loved it, through the bushes, wouldn't he? Right, yeah. David Bellamy, and that's he reminds me a lot of Mally. Look at the trees. Anyway, where is this redwood?
So it's lovely actually, because as you starting to come around the corner, you can just see it starting to appear through the trees. Yeah. And there's kind of glimpses of it. Then it gets blocked out by these, I don't know what these are. I don't think those are large pines. But then all of a sudden you can start to see it through the bare branches. Yeah. And then as we go around the corner, you'll see this. I mean, it must be, I don't know, 150 foot high. Is that, I don't know, 50 metres? Whatever, my 25 metres.
It feels like the impossible tree to photograph because if you step right back, you're just going to have this mayhem, chaos of every other tree around it.
Oh, and that's the wonderful challenge, isn't it? And so, as we sort of going around the corner now, all of a sudden it's starting to reveal itself.
Yeah, look at that.
And then, in and of itself, but in its environment, how the environment is acting on it. And there's something I spend quite a lot of time, for various reasons, up at Tate Britain, rather Tate Modern. Yeah. And one of the places I just absolutely love to go is the Seagram's paintings, to see the Seagram's paintings by Mark Roscoe. Okay, and so I think there's 6 paintings in a huge room, quite darkened room. In one of the
many years, hasn't it?
No, it has. Yeah. And I think he actually gifted it, or it was gifted to the Tate, whatever reason. And so I'll go there. And so the last time I was there, I spent just over an hour in that gallery. And one of the paintings I probably spent half an hour looking at.
Right.
And just really, really looking at it from varying distances, from sort of across the room to as close as I could get to it, to just staring at this thing. And then that's all of a sudden, but for me, it became a different way of appreciating this magnificent room, but also these magnificent paintings by, for me, just the absolute genius of 20th century a painting. I think it was abstract expressionism, wasn't it? He was part of the movement. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But you see something, and just it kind of gripped me. But also the idea of really looking, of taking time, but paying deference and sort of honouring the painting and honouring the painter by giving it time, as opposed to looking at it and then moving on, or taking a snap of it and moving on. That's fed so much into how I'm sort of making my photography now. And so the point is, I came yesterday, and again I spent an hour walking around this tree, and sat on this little stump there. So I sat and had a lovely Cadbury's cream egg and a flask of coffee. And it's just I start by looking at it, and there's an initial emotional reaction to it for me.
A real emotional reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's whatever it is, insert in kind of parentheses here. But then you start to go, what is it about? What is this tree about? And as you said earlier,
look at the little flecks of light that appear on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? Yeah. So how do you photograph that tree in its majesty? If we went back to get the whole tree, in this setting, it would be lost in its setting. So for me, it's not only about the tree, but it's about its environment. So within here, there's another 1, 2, 3 or 4 other redwoods. And across the path, there's probably about 30 or 40.
Yeah.
But I want to get this one. And actually, what's majestic about it for me is the base, is this almost start of a conical shape, where it's very wide at the base. I mean, it must be 6 to 8 feet at the base, in diameter, and with a this sort of beautiful verdigris of green going as the moss is growing.
I've not seen it this colour before.
Yeah, going up the tree.
Yeah,
and then the closer you get to it, the closer you see the detail of it. But also you start interacting and seeing the detail of what's around it, and how that, if that's its environment, how that environment is impacting on it. And so that's what I'm after today. And so, although I had a walk around yesterday, I think what I'm going to do now is, before I take any pictures, I've got
You've only got one.
Okay, any picture, any frame.
It's no longer pluralised.
I haven't come up with
I'm the one with the clickety-click, remember?
I haven't come up with a suitable name. Is it a frame or a sheet? Because it's a sheet of 5/4.
Yeah.
So do I take a frame or a sheet? I haven't figured that out yet.
I think a sheet.
That sounds quite good, doesn't it? Or plates. They used to be known as plates.
Yeah.
So were glass plates initially. So what I've got, I'll sort of put my gear down in a minute, I've got a little viewing device, and I'll start walking around and framing up what I think is the picture I want, but also trying it at different distances, because the light was different yesterday to what it is now. It's quite bright, overcast. There's
Well, it was raining yesterday.
Yeah,
but it seems much flatter today. But then, occasionally, this sun, I can see it. It's just about to do it again. It just appears from nowhere.
It's so the contrast in the light is greater than it was yesterday.
Right.
Because it was starting to rain. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So it's very different.
Yeah.
But actually, what it's doing, this light is bringing out that green of the moss, and it's contrasting more with the russet browns of the ferns, and there's a few little dead trees there as well. Well, their leaves are dead, and so it's kind of looking at, did the thought in my head, "Do you eat last night?" Will that be the same now? And I've got to go and try and figure that out now.
Isn't it interesting that you're talking in colour? We're talking about the greens and the the oranges next to it, but it's a black and white picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
you're thinking in colour,
No.
making a black and white.
No, you're thinking in terms of tones, tones and textures now, and again, I'm at the start of a fantastic, wonderful journey of learning how colours are going to react to a monochromatic film. Actually, it's also a chromatic film, but to black and white and to tones of grey and how they're going to react without using any filters at the moment. And it's lovely. It's kind of imagining it. So one of the great influences of me was a photographer called Ansel Adams, which I'm sure everybody knows about.
I've got some things to ask you about him.
Right, no worries. Yeah. But he and others, but he in particular came up with this idea, this concept of pre-visualization.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of very hi there.
Morning.
Which sounds very complicated and aesthetic and intellectual, but it isn't. I think what it is, it's about having a look at the scene in front of you, and in combination with one's emotions, because that's so important, I believe, for me, is combining those emotions with what you see in front of you. What do you want this to look like? What it is, what is it? How the tones will represent on film. But it's not just about that. I'm not a documentary photographer anymore. I'm not interested in this idea of truth. What I'm interested in is the idea of expression. And so, as Minor White said, don't photograph it for what it is. Photograph it for what you want it to be. So looking at this and whether you just photograph it as a tree or whether we photograph as a tree today. But today, for me, it's a very gentle, very quiet memorial. So how am I going to relate those terms in terms of a memorial, using those tones, using the placement? How am I going to place my frame? Is it going to be upright? Is it going to be landscape? And all these other things. How am I going to do that? But that's a slow process. I used to say, my process of photography was glacial. It's gone another stage. It's it's tectonic now. It's like the slow, gentle movements of the tectonic plates.
Let's go and meet the tree. I've got the coffee in my bag. Tell me you brought the cream eggs.
No, I didn't.
You just had them for you yesterday. Blimey. They're a third smaller, apparently, than they used to be.
Well, as you said, that makes them more healthier. You can eat
three times as many. I'm sure my maths isn't quite right. Well, I should probably just correct my maths slightly here. 13%. That's the difference in size. 13%, not a third. We mentioned some other names, or Giles did. Mark Rothko, Ansel Adams and Minor White. Rothko's paintings are large canvases made up of rectangular blocks of colour, often stacked one above the other. The colours are muted rather than bright and the edges of the blocks are soft, not sharply defined. Up close you can see that the paint is built in thin layers. There's no subject matter in the usual sense, no figures, no landscape, no reference points. The work is about scale and colour relationships. Ansel Adams, the photographer, well, he's famous for his black and white landscapes, usually of the American West. Mountains, rivers, snow, clouds. The prints have a wide range of tones, from deep black through to bright white. And Ansel Adams was heavily involved in how his images were printed. He adjusted contrast and brightness deliberately, so that the final photograph matched how he wanted the scene to appear. And of course, this was technical expertise working with film. Minor White's photographs are smaller in scale. He often photographed ordinary subjects, walls and doors and windows and patterns in nature, light on surfaces. Put simply, Rothko reduced painting to colour and scale. Adams used photography to construct powerful landscape images. And White used the camera to study form and repetition in everyday scenes. Different approaches, different results, but all three were very clear what they were putting in front of the viewer. Clearly this is not something you can do without pegs, without a blooming great big tripod. Look at this beast.
I know, it's huge. This is a Manfrotto.
How much does it weigh? Can I... Here, you don't need to be doing kettlebells on a Wednesday.
I think the whole kit, including my backpack, weighs about 25-30 kilos.
Wow.
So, and this beast, which
That's
is
like going back to your army days when you were an army photographer, carrying all your kit and weaponry.
Yeah, well, I only had a sidearm then, but it was back when I was in the infantry.
Right.
So carrying big machine guns and horrible, nasty
Did they weigh
things.
this much?
Yeah, and the rest. Why do you think I left the infantry?
Got to yourself an injury. Blimey.
No,
but you do need something quite significant, don't you? Because what do we call your camera? A plate camera?
Yeah, so it's a 5x4.
You realise you almost took my head off with the top of the tripod
I
then.
apologise. So
This would be a bit like one of those, to you, to me, to you, bang.
So how did Neil James meet his end? Well, Your Honour, it was like
Took
this.
him out with a tripod head.
You know.
Yeah. It was a 229.
Yes, a big 229 with another great big head to it. But because this is all about sort of taking time and the camera's huge. It really is. It's an MPP, which is a British-made camera system. Made in Sheffield, I think, by Micro Precision Products. I think that's what they call themselves.
Right.
They were initially, they made field cameras, and I think they were initially modelled after the Linhoffs.
Oh, very famous.
And so they became a sort of a British version of Linhoff. But really well made. I mean, fantastically well made. And so
all metal parts.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see, it's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But the one I've got is called a monorail. So it's huge. But in that, with the sort of lack of kind of accessibility or ease, what you get is an amazing amount of movements, and I'll explain those later on. How the camera moves and how you're able to adjust it and all the rest of it, and so but it weighs an absolute ton.
You've got two cameras, haven't you? You've got the smaller one and the larger one.
Yes,
is this the larger one? Or?
This is the larger one. This is the beast.
Okay. Right.
This is lovely.
You should by rights now be sort of the specimen of, well, you are obviously a specimen of high health.
Yeah.
But this stuff you're
after
carrying.
my Cadbury's cream eggs and bacon rolls,
Well,
you're stretching credulity there, mate.
Okay.
You really are.
Yeah, I suppose one balances the other out.
So, here we go. This is really interesting.
But there's no point putting the tripod down yet because you haven't chosen where you want to photograph.
So this is the whole point. Is I came here and I'm just saying this is the picture I'm going to take, but I came here with a picture in mind.
Yes.
And us talking, and so because you're talking, you're not saying, what picture am I going to take? You start focusing, and I'm starting to see this tree, starting to see this buttress of this tree now, which is in a different way, and you kind of go, wow, that's lovely. That's really, it's beautiful, it's interesting, it's majestic, and all these other things. How do I want to capture that? How do I want to photograph that? And until there's no point in me just setting up the tripod, and I'll set up the camera, take the picture, and then buggering off, because that may not be the right picture. I've heard this in sort of documentary photography terms. People would say, you've got to work the story. You've got to take lots of pictures and work it around and take different pictures and different levels to sort of get the right pictures. But here I've only got one chance. So when I go out, I
literally only have the one frame today to make.
I've got one sheet film. That's it.
So yeah.
So
no spare sheet.
No. So the whole thing is one by one. Take one picture, I print one. That's it.
One by one.
And so now the process now is we'll get a coffee and I'll set up in a sec. But even before I set up, what I'll do is I've got this little device. That's it's basically a 5x4 frame with
a viewer.
Yeah, with a viewer with effective focal length marks on it. So I can put that up to mine. I can look because all of a sudden now the light's changing. It's really, really subtly changing, and that's the beauty of it. And you can see on the bark. So whereas yesterday that lower bark, I mean, in terms of tone, it was quite dark, but now you're getting these lovely kind of little highlights on the left-hand side, which are accentuating the shape and form of it. And so I need to stop talking and
No. I'm fascinated by what you're doing and the way you're seeing. I am very much a walk by and make a sketchbook photograph these days, and I think this is going to be a lesson to me watching you today to slow the f*** down. I will obviously be editing that word out.
Can't you say down?
People say to me, why do you take the rude words out? Because I do leave some rude words in. There's a sort of it's not as if there's a league table of rudeness, but I've noticed years ago in the BBC, bloody was a word you would never say.
Oh, really?
You wouldn't say, I'm bloody annoyed by that. These days, you'll hear it peppered left, right and centre. It's just a bit of language, really. But there are obviously words you can't use. And although I don't recall ever seeing an actual sheet of paper with the words written on them. I think it was a sense of common sense, but equally when people say, why do you take the words out? Because other podcasts have them in, and I always think that I want people to feel comfortable with this podcast, listening with their kids or grandkids or whoever in the car, and that suddenly your grandkid isn't going to say, what does mean? Why is that man using the word? And the humour of this is that you and I know that all these words are out. But I heard the word on Australian radio, on the breakfast show. And it's become, some of the words we wouldn't, look at that light over there. It's like angels singing. But the word itself, I couldn't imagine ever being on British radio, but it was on a breakfast show. We were driving in Australia. The kids were a lot younger, and we were that wonderful route that takes the east coast up. Okay. Anyway, we were on that route, and the guys were on the radio on the breakfast show, and they were talking about people that leave rubbish, and they were saying rubbish. I can't remember but they said something along the lines of, that guy's just a and the kids were in the back seat, and it was Thomas that said, Daddy, what does mean? Because we were laughing about it, and that now feeds into this podcast. I never want somebody to feel that the only F word I've ever left in is when it was uttered by Joel Meyerowitz, and he was talking about the New York mayor, and if I'd taken the word out, he called him is what he called him. Now, I will bleep my ones out, but I left his in because I thought it was a moment in the show which to have taken them out, it wasn't simply an expression, it was something that it was guttural.
I was just thinking the last 3 minutes, it's just going to be peppered with beep, 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 beep.
Well, I don't bleep them, I just make it go silent.
It's going to sound like a Morse code lesson.
No, it's not that
bad. What did they actually say?
I do silence instead of bleeps.
No.
And on the Fuji cast, I put different things in, such as duck quacks and stuff.
But no, I agree with you. And look, as you've heard this morning, I'm not adverse to some.
For heaven's sakes, you came out of the army.
No, it was some Anglo-Saxon language. But I'm with you. I think there's a grace that needs to be maintained, and it's because anyway.
Well, as Stephen Fry once said, that's enough of this. Let's party. I always remember that line. That was perfect. Jeremy Clarkson would say, I made a thing. You've made a thing. What is it?
So essentially it's a viewing device.
Right.
So it's a 5:4 negative frame from my enlarger. So the aperture is 5x4 inches, which equates to the size of the film.
Can I take a picture of it?
Yeah, of course you can.
So I can put it on the show page. It'll make more sense, won't it? Hold it there.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Got it? Yep. Okay.
And on a bit of cord, I marked three different knots, and they correspond to the different focal length of lenses.
Oh, that is clever.
Okay. So it's a rough estimate.
That's so analogically clever.
It's dovey. So this replaces what I used to do with my Leicas.
So it's a bit of string, knots in it.
Yeah.
You hold that knot to your eye with the frame in front of you, and that resembles what the camera is going to, pretty much what the camera is going to see, and it stops you having to lug a great big, huge camera around just to see what it's going to look like through the ground glass.
I mean, it's a rough approximation.
Like cinematographers always used to use the...
There we go. Yeah. So, and it's this, we're talking around this idea of pre-visualization is, I suppose a better way is getting to know the image and understanding all the different elements in it and what your reaction to it is. And so it's much easier to hold this up. And so I'll hold this up to my eye. And as we've got the tree in front of us now, and we're sort of 10 feet from the tree. And I can look at it and kind of, okay, that's great. But and this is the interesting thing with photography is the camera will concentrate on the thing it's pointed at. As human beings, we see our peripheral vision. So my peripheral vision is taken in near enough 180 degrees view. So to concentrate that down, I'll hold that up to my eye at the 150 mark, because that's the lens I'm going to use.
Right, I want to get another picture of this, because although I think you're describing it very well.
Yeah. So I'll hold that up.
Right.
Close one eye.
Hold on, I'm having a camera issue. Hold on. There we go.
You all right there?
Yeah, I'm all right. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm able to frame that up, whether it's horizontal or vertical, and actually it's really nice. And so it just provides that lovely border. And so this is the process I'll go through. I'll look at it from the first approach and kind of go, well, is that the view? Is that light? Actually, no, because it's too bright. It's quite a dark trunk and it's too bright behind.
Will you walk around the tree?
So, and before I walked around, if it would come this way.
Hold on.
This is where,
Watch the stumps.
this is lovely.
God, hang on, you're doing a David Bellamy. Oh, let's just do the jungle.
So here, and goes back to that idea of looking at the Rothko.
Yeah.
Okay, really looking at the work of art. This is a work of art, this tree, it really is. But it's not just a tree, it's associated, I don't know what the right word is, trees around it, or environment, it's associated environment. But look at this little tree here.
Yeah, I was going to say you've got something in the frame now, which is a sapling.
I don't know what sort of tree it is. If only we had some sort of device.
Well, I have, but I'm talking into the device that I need to use to recognise a tree.
We could point at it, and this miracle thing could tell us what tree it was.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Analog idiot here.
But I do have it. It's on this phone.
Oh, I have it as well. But am I going to use it? Am I? So, and then I can look at it again and go, actually, this is really nice.
Yeah.
I can that could be really nice. Is that? Because I mean, from distance from today's, obviously birds have been burrowing into, I think it's woodpeckers, because there are woodpeckers around here.
Yeah.
And life has been living in this tree, so that's coming up more. But behind it's too bright. Okay, I'm going to get too much light coming in from behind.
Yeah.
And so that's not
So
right.
that's out, back through the...
More to go, and then
Hold on.
everybody's going to be asleep.
No, not at all.
By the time John actually gets to take
I think this is fascinating. And on the show page, I'll obviously put the pictures of these musings as we walk around the tree, and also the contraption that Giles has made. Is the electrical tape a particular brand to hold
wouldn't work without it, and it has to be blue.
Does it have to be blue? Right, okay.
Yeah, and it has to be...
Is this the same electrical tape you're going to use later when we get back to the house to mend the gap on the U-bend?
Look, as in Flight Club, we don't talk about Flight Club. As in DIY catastrophes, we don't talk about DIY.
Oh, so I just ruined a moment.
So if we come back
okay.
here,
Well, this is quite a way now, though. So we're going back into that problem of, well, to use the old cliche, not being able to see the wood for the trees, but in this case, the tree for the woods.
But it's about how it fits into its environment. So first off, I'm not going to try and get the whole tree.
Right.
Okay.
We couldn't.
No. And I could if I went back away with the.
God, you'd have to go back 100 metres.
With the 28mm with my 90mm lens, all the rest of it. So now it's getting an impression of it. So the impression of that trunk, because that's what it's all about. It's the stability. It's many metaphors about that.
It's anchored into the forest here, isn't it?
And there's loads of different things you could. If I wasn't clearly so out of breath walking 50 metres, I could come up.
You know what you need? You need, like mountain climbers have Mars bars, you need a cream egg.
If only I'd brought.
If only you hadn't snaffled them all yesterday.
We don't talk about cream eggs anymore. Anyway, back to Wimbledon for the cricket. So in front of me, I've got another tree, and these bare branches. As you can see, that if you come and stand where I am.
So you might use these as a foreground muse.
So they kind of.
Yeah.
If they were out of focus, they're almost acting as a framing device. But then on the right hand side, you have this very plain I don't even know what tree it is, but it's just a very plain tree coming out at an angle. And then to the right of that, I really need to learn what these trees are. Mally would...
He knows this by just your description now. Is it orange, Neil? Yes, it's orange. Oh, that's a...
Yeah, he's amazing. He really is. So clearly with the 150... If I look
with depth of field, though, aren't you going to lose these little twigs in the foreground? Aren't they just...
No. I could get that. I can.
I don't know how to see with a large format camera, the depth of field is an entirely different beast.
Well, it is because it's a larger format. Okay, the inherent depth of field is much less. Okay, much less than your Fuji camera.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the format, but using the movements on the camera, I'm able to manipulate the plane of focus.
Okay.
And so I can have it in focus from this twig here to the far distance. So that's not an issue. But actually, if I did it, I'd have this just slightly out of focus to give it some...
Gotcha.
It's about depth and it's about positioning. So I'm looking at that now, and 150, and that's another lovely Labrador, it's nice.
The Labrador stopped, by the way, because he thinks you're taking a picture.
What a
well-behaved Labrador.
No photography. Yeah. It's nice, but again, if I'm looking at it now, if I had a 300mm lens, it would be perfect. It really would, because the tree if you have a look there.
Let me have a look.
So, let me show you that to you.
I'll hold it roughly where you were, which is about there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at the tree on the right-hand side, acts as a framing device, and it frames the main tree. But I haven't got a 300mm, so it's if I move closer, perspective's going to change.
Yeah.
i.e. the relationship between one object and another at distance. So this is a shot for another time. So this is not right. So we'll move on.
Not here. Okay. All these decisions to make a single frame. I know what you mean about the, what did you say, tectonic rather than glacial approach to it now. This is something that's very important to your, can I use mental state of mind?
Yeah.
But this approach is so important to the way you're feeling at the moment in life, isn't it? I'm trying to follow you out without falling over one of these stumps. Hold on. I'm making a serious point and I look like I'm just about to go into a ditch.
Sorry,
I have to go around this way. There we go. Right.
You're absolutely right, and I'm. It's there's just a reality to it, and look, the reality is that I suffer from depression. I have a form of PTSD. Blah de blah de blah. That's what it is. It's without. I don't really want to go into it too much, but the way I've come to terms with it is it's almost a form of atonement that I have to pay. Anyway, moving on. What this sort of photography does for me is it slows me down. It enables me to think. It enables me to actually, for me, and I'm saying for no other person, but for me, it enables me to see the landscape better, to be quiet, to be gentle, to quieten down this madness that goes in my head, and to look at the most ordinary of objects. It's just a piece of wood. That's all it is. It's a bit of wood, but actually it's not. It's the relationship between. And that's why I've always said emotion is so important. It's the relationships between all these things. How can I possibly engage in that if I'm running around like I used to? So my documentary work was perfect for that, because that was the sort of work it needed. But that doesn't work here. For me, it's a quiet, gentle, systematic approach. And I'm you see my darkroom. I mean, everything is ordered. How I handle the camera, how I do everything else is absolutely ordered.
Well, can I ask an asinine? I think the word is asinine question. Why? I know the answer to this, but I want your opinion. Why would you not just set up a tripod and take a long time walking around with your beloved Leica M3?
Well, two reasons. One is I massively fell out of love with Leica.
Oh,
yeah. I won't sort of bore you with the grisly details, but the reality of it. But also, with this, I can make one picture. Okay, you can make one picture with any camera.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can make a single sheet, a single frame. I can go back and I can process a single frame.
It's a decision based on one moment. I suppose in the same way that just now when we were standing across over there, you thought, well, I can't make this picture. I don't have my 300 millimetre.
Yeah, yeah. So it's working. It's also working with what I have, and working within the limitations and the restrictions.
You're limiting yourself.
Yes, yeah. but within that limitation for me is making the artistic expression greater, and so it really is about it's much more of a deliberate act of okay, today it'll be quicker because by the necessity of wanting to do this interview with you. If it was me, I could spend a whole day here and maybe I didn't take the picture.
Well, don't let that stop you. I'm happy to spend the whole day here, but please make a picture.
Please, but only if you'd brought the Cadbury's cream eggs. Yeah. But so the whole idea of it, and it's going back to the mental health side. I don't wish to sort of ram this down people's throats.
No, it's really important.
But the whole idea of the mental health thing is why am I doing this? Okay, why am I making this photography? Why am I creating in this way? Now, the reason I'm doing it is I made a decision no longer to explain to people why and how.
I feel I'm asking you to do that.
No, and which is fair enough. But it's come down to the point because this makes me happy. Because this, I mean, and genuinely, this within the last week, I've arrived at a system where I'm now since December, I think it was. I've made 4 frames, so this will be number 5.
Good Lord.
And I've printed 4 pictures out of those 5. There's a dog just about to nick my camera.
Well, no, I was more worried about the dog about to cock its leg on your camera bag.
Be gone with you, foul
Beautiful
beast.
Dog. Look at him.
Lovely,
He's beautiful.
And the enjoyment that comes with this now, the pleasure of this comes with it of spending time in nature and all this. And I have to admit is I'm not great with people. I'm great with individuals. I'm great with people I know with like one-to-ones, but with lots of people I'm not very good with. So this is perfect. And this old bugger in the middle of the woods taking pictures of trees. But I think getting back to the beauty of this is so now we've walked around. We're looking at the environment. I think we're paying homage to the tree. But as we noticed, the light has completely changed.
Well, it's changed in the last half hour.
Yeah. And so it's a difficult thing because it's not the light I'm interested in. The light is primary because it allows me to see what's in front of me. It's the tree, it's the interaction between the different elements. That's what interests me. And at the point where I come to take the picture, the light will be what it is. And I'll make decisions in terms of exposure and development at that stage and have an idea of what I want the print to look like.
Much harder day then when the sun is going in and out, because what you visualise is going to be made by a much quicker decision when you expose the plate.
Yes, I suppose that's true. I suppose you could, if your idea of your visualization was a certain thing, you could wait for the conditions to approximate that. Or you can set up, so you've framed it up, and then you can set up and you kind of go, well, actually, this is the light I've been given, because working on the assumption that all light is good light, this is the light I'm being given. How am I going to react to this light that I've got now,
right,
or within the next 3 or 4 minutes? And so it's not. I'm more of that sort of ethos. I'm very interested to hear people when they say, what do you photograph, and they talk about the light. It's a concept I don't understand. For me, it's about the subject. Clearly, light is fundamental to the subject. But if we look at it now, this is very much how it was yesterday. So it's kind of quite a low contrast scene because there's no any real harsh shadows or bright highlights other than the wet bits of the leaves. And this is just as magnificent to me as if the sun came out and it highlighted this tree in front of us.
Yeah.
So it's yes, there's an idea what I want the picture to be, but also, and perhaps I'm just adding lots of contradictions here, what also there is the possibility of something else happening, of being open to possibility.
Well, the sapling in front is the possibility, because I'm standing right in front of it. The redwood is our champion, but funnily enough, the saplings become that for me. Isn't it funny, when you stand somewhere long enough, then you do start to see.
Yeah, and that's what's lovely about it, isn't it? And actually, like you say, it's not about the redwood. And also
redwood's part of the scene.
Yeah,
but
but also for me, when I framed this up, on the right-hand side, you've got that it's a huge tree.
Do you know what I'm going to suggest?
Yeah.
Let's go and have a coffee. I'm going to turn the microphone off and I'm going to put it into recognised tree mode, and I'm going to find out what these 4 are.
Sounds like a good idea.
Plus, my coffee's just fallen into the badgers thing. Determined to make my feet wet. I've got to get...
Are your boots not...
Well, they're supposed to be waterproof, but anything that has laces, I don't know.
My leather ones are quite nice.
Your leather ones are very good, actually.
They're really lovely boots.
Yeah.
Although they've obviously made the soles out of jam, because they're,
My DMs are a bit like that. They've separated. And Sam keeps saying, buy some new DMs. I say, yeah, but these ones have got character. I've lived with these. They've walked around different countries with me. And I find it very hard. I've still got my old brown DMs. Which,
they're lovely.
And I don't want to get rid of them. They're shot to bits now, really. But I just can't seem to get rid of them. They have a voice in them that say, don't leave me.
We are sad, aren't we? It's lovely there.
When I meet my maker, the shit people are going to find, they're going to say, why on earth did he keep this? It's an old boot. But it's my favourite boot. Look, the trees around us, Japanese cedar. Look at that.
We know that now, don't we?
We know that now. This one,
I've forgotten.
you just looked it up 2 minutes ago.
Was it a beach? A beach. Oh, thank you. Yes. He said with complete authority, it's a beach.
There is an app, I don't know which one it is, and perhaps somebody will correct me, or rather tell me, that can, I think it's a real within 50 years kind of thing, or maybe less, that can actually age a tree, which I would find...
No, I must get that, because actually the
I'd love to know when this was actually planted.
Yeah, I must do...
Here comes that beautiful dog again.
I wonder if he's lost his owner. Here, pups.
Hello.
Have you found where's your owner?
Are you lost? Are you lost?
Pups?
Has he got a collar on?
I don't know. Where's your owner?
You said you wanted a dog.
Yeah, it seems like...
Happy Christmas. He's beautiful. Look. He looks a bit confused.
Are you all right?
I had this recently when I was walking Barney. Oh, there he is. There's his owner. Down there. There we go. You go find him. He's just sat on my foot.
Go on then.
I think I've just adopted your dog. Oh, he certainly is a softie.
How do you do, mate?
What is he? German wire-haired BMW.
You're beautiful,
He's
aren't
got
you?
a few grey hairs.
Yeah, he's getting on.
Hey.
He's 9, he is.
He's 9. Blimey.
Oh, bless his heart. He's lovely.
Welcome to the dog cast.
Sorry, Pops.
Oh. Well, we all get bald patches sooner or later. What's his name? Chester. Oh, Chester.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, he's all right. He's a good boy, really.
He does look like he's a good boy. Yeah. You look after him. Thank you. Can't remember where we were now. Oh, Japanese cedar planting. How old trees are.
Yeah. No, I must get that out because again it's not essential, but just thinking about it now, knowing that that's a Japanese maple, and that's a beech.
Yep.
All of a sudden it makes a little bit of a difference. Well, it's just added to the story, doesn't it?
I really, really want to go and photograph in Japan. I really want to. It's definitely on my list, that one.
Yeah, no, there's I don't know, those landscapes. I think, is it northern Japan? They have the mountains and all this.
Yeah.
But I think any country, any and every country has its beauty, doesn't it? It's I suppose it's finding the unusual in the usual. But look, here we are in the middle of sort of very ordinary, some would say boring Berkshire, in a plantation that's okay. It's Penwood. Who cares? It's not very interesting until all of a sudden it goes back to this idea. I'm not tub thumping this idea, but it goes back to this idea of looking, of taking time. If photography, here we go, Giles on a rant. If photography,
I like your rants.
If photography is about anything, it's about time. We are operating and making time machines, and surely if we don't, have the grace and the decency and the humility to give it time, to give the scene time, what's the point? What's the point in just, I've done another 20 pictures, so what? Who cares? I don't know.
Kev, who you know, my mate Kev, he used to on his street courses give people really small SD cards because we haven't had. We've got SD cards now that could photograph until the end of time. Squeeze everything on you possibly can. But once upon a time, our SD cards or our CF cards were really quite titchy, weren't they? So he sends them out with cards where you can hardly record a thing to them, which makes you consider. And you're not allowed to cheat. You're not allowed to delete the frame. Yeah.
But again, I'm sort of really mindful of this idea of, look, what works for me and what's mentally and philosophically perfect for me may not be right for other people. And when in anything I talk about today, it's from my perspective. It's not that I don't care what other people do. I'm not in the business anymore of trying to convince other people how they should or shouldn't make pictures. That's the glory of photography, because then they can make those pictures.
This is why you will make, and I'm speaking in present and future tense purposefully, a bloody good tutor for 5.4.
Yeah,
I know you need convincing slightly.
I'd like to do it. In fact, just as I said to you earlier, just talking to you about this and explaining to you about this is a lovely thing, and I really enjoy it. And perhaps later on this year or next year I may think up something. But for the moment, I just want to, I don't know,
enjoy it.
Yeah, just absolutely lose myself in it. Nicola, God knows how she puts up with me, but there we go.
Because she loves you.
God, I hope so. It's
you two are like, I don't know. Do you remember Ever Decreasing Circles?
Yes.
What was that couple called?
Am I the dodgy old?
No.
Oh, am I?
No. Honestly, right, I want some more coffee.
Right, yes.
And then we need to start decanting a camera bag. Yeah.
I know exactly where we're going to take the picture now.
Do you? Well,
So it's basically from here.
Right.
So if you look now,
so flat on, as it were, from the path.
So if you go slightly to the left,
right.
So what we've got is a beautiful relationship between this American sequoia, giant redwood.
Redwood, yeah.
Was it a sequoia or giant redwood?
Sequoia. But it is also known as giant redwood.
Oh, is that the same thing? Okay, so I like sequoia better. It's I don't know, yeah. So the sequoia, the ferns, the dead ferns, which and then the Japanese maple in the background, and that's where I'm going to frame it, just about there.
Perfect.
On the 150mm lens. Let's get out of the way of this gentleman, and then take the picture there. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then that's the point we start thinking about, focus, depth of field, tonal ranges. How am I going to develop it? How am I going to print it? And I'll make notes and all this.
Oh, you make physical notes as we go along now, do you?
Yeah. So I'll get my notebook and I'll do a little sketch and I'll put in all the light readings so I can get an idea of the light readings. And
I love the idea of a sketch, by the way, being framed.
Yeah.
Not necessarily within the same frame as the picture when you put it on a wall, but next to it. I like that.
And in fact, one of the things I want to do is go to a class to learn how to draw properly, because my sketches, damn.
Well, we'll mark you out of 10 in a moment. Right, coffee, come on, and get this camera out. Definitely getting wet feet. And so we're ready to make the picture then. To make our plate. What, Neil? Can't be over already. Don't say that it's done for a week. Yes, well, I did say this is a glacial pace 2-episode thing. For good reason. We are making one single picture in honour of our friend Dennis Lee, or the captain. And we now have our subjects. We have a possible composition. So Giles is back next week for the second part to this show. Now, Richard Farrell is going to play us out in a moment, a tune to gather some thoughts over or about what's been said today. My postscript in a moment, but a hearty thank you to all those who give their time to help this show reach the ears of those in our very special community. Thanks to Neil Ford, who keeps the IT behaving itself, which is no small job. Over on socials, Andrea Gilpin runs Instagram, Kelly Mitchell handles Facebook, Kelvin Brown steers the Flickr group, and Michael Brennan builds the Spotify playlist each week so you can listen back to all our show tunes historically. Right, a postscript for the show. It's got to be Ansel Adams, hasn't it? It's got to be, surely. Spent most of his life standing in front of wonderful mountains, much like I am in Austria at the moment, doing the start and the end of this show. With, he with a large format camera, me with one much smaller. He once said that 12 significant photographs in a year was a good crop. So he understood waiting and that the natural world doesn't perform on demand. And the PS that he said to the show this week is this: the most important lesson I offer is humility before light, before nature, before time.
Ain't looking for much of many, cause we got plenty. No line of division, we're all heaven sent. Cause I really, really, really want you to know that I love you from the highest peak to low. There ain't nothing that will block our path to grow. We can work it out. If you're lost in the blue, just tell me we'll choose to open the door, loving some more. If you found the light, show me the right path to walk on, to open our hearts. We're finding recipes, we're cooks at the ready. No spice that we can't use, got the zest for life. Cause I really, really, really want you to show all your colors to the light so we can grow. There ain't nowhere on this journey that we can't go. We can work it out. If you're lost in the blue, just tell me what you to open the door, the love and some more. If you found the light, show me the right path to walk on, to open our hearts. You're the sweetest scent I know. That's right. A higher power brought us together. That angel, you're the deepest part of my heart. Oh, you said it. Let us climb and reach the stars. Ooh, ooh. If you're lost in the blue, just tell me what you to open it down, loving some more. If you found the line, show me the right path to walk on, to open our hearts. If you're lost in the blue, just tell me what you to open the door, love us some more. If you found the light, show me the right path to walk on, to open our hearts.
The Photo Walk is a Loading Zone production.